there, this is Pete over at D.I.Y Auto School, and what we're doing today, we are color sanding so we can buff. Now, I'm going to show you the very quick way of color sanding properly. Now, this has got 3 full wet coats of clear on it. It's got minimal orange peel. There is orange peel in it, but it's minimal. And then, of course, it's got a few dust specks, which you're going to get, unless you got a $1 million paint booth that's going to guarantee you not to. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the way that I color sand to buff.
Welcome to D.I.Y Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Now, I like to do it very quickly because I don't like to buff at all. I don't like to color sand, I don't like to buff. Many years ago, I used to do the scuff and paint jobs like Earl Shives. And I believe I charged $500, pretty much any color, scuff it down, paint it, and get it out. Of course, that was back in the 80s. Early 80s to probably mid 90s before I really actually got into color sand and buffing, because I just was in it to make a living. I wanted to make money and get down the road, but also I wanted to do a top quality job. So I always kept I started out in my garage at home, and my garage was always neat and clean and dust free. So the paint jobs that I did came out very nice. I learned how to paint very nicely and very quickly with a Binks No. 7 spray gun with minimal orange peel. That means that it laid down really smooth, and normally most of the paint jobs, I would say 95% of the paint jobs I did were dust free due to the fact that I kept my garage super clean. The jobs that I did back then were single stage paint. That means it was PPG acrylic enamel is what I used. So it used to lay down really nice. That's when paint was top quality, top notch. You didn't have all these aftermarket bullshit brands that claim to be the best in the world. I believe the only paint that you should be using is PPG. If you can get PPG, use PPG paint. Today, after that long, exhausting story, I'm going to go ahead and show you my process of sanding a car for buffing. So what we got here, we got a block, and I'm sure none of you have ever seen a block like this, and the reason is because this is actually a piece of packing rubber that you would get in a package when you get a brand new aftermarket hood, or a brand new aftermarket door, or aftermarket body part, this is actually a piece of the foam it's a protected piece of foam for the aftermarket body part that you ordered. And if you look at it, it's kind of got, it's got a rigid surface on it, or should I say a rough surface. And what that does, that helps with the sandpaper on it, that helps bust down that clear very quickly, having a surface like that. And we're going to get to this in a minute. The other thing that I have is a paint stick. I have one that's the exact width of the sandpaper itself, and then I also have one that's a little bit over half the width. And what these are for nibbing out the dust specks. Now, you can go ahead and spend your money on the Meguiar's nibbing blocks and all this other, what can we say, ridiculously hyped up junk to help you do the job right when you don't need it. You can just use this right here for free and your sandpaper. Or you can go ahead and get the little expensive high-tech tool that looks like a miniature D.I.Y sander, and then you got to buy the little discs and go that route. Or you can go ahead and do this for free. There's many, many options in sanding a car. Another thing that I don't think it's really caught on, especially in the car custom world, is the dry sanding effect with the D.I.Y sander. That's where you use a short throw D.I.Y sander, and you got dry 1500. Let's see, dry sandpaper's got 1500. I think there's 1000, and then it goes up to 3000, and it's all dry sandpaper to sand your car down. The problem with that is that's basically made for, what can we say, collision repair. That is not made and designed for doing a giant car like this. If you are going to paint a door, blend the paint in that door, get your short throw D.I.Y sander out, get some 3M 1500 dry sandpaper, slap it on there, go like this, and you're ready to buff it out. Factory paint jobs of today's cars are not show quality paint jobs. So they do have orange peel in them, all right? And by doing that, what I just said will blend everything together where you don't see it. But on a car like this, where we're restoring it, using the dry sand method is pretty much impossible due to the fact that it's very big. You got a lot of sharp corners right here and all this other action going on that you can see. So the only way to do this right is by hand sanding. It takes many, many hours. So let's go ahead and start. And what I got here, I got a sponge. I got my bucket of water down here, nice clean water. I also got a squeegee. This is a it's called Wet or Dry Rubber Squeegee by 3M. They make several different sizes. This is the average size. And that's going to dry our paint off so we can follow our map. Now, visually, we're going to look at this quarter panel, and we're going to cut it in 4 sections. And the reason I say that is we're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to go this way with it. That's going to give us that section, that grid that we can concentrate on instead of going over the whole thing. Now, once you get used to sanding, the grid will show up automatically in your head. You don't have to line it out and think about it. It automatically happens, and you do it. But right now, as I'm teaching you this, we're going to go ahead and visually cut it in 4s. And the area that we're going to concentrate on is this area right here. Now what I do to this area right here I will repeat my process all the way around the car. So we got this block here. This is the one that I made from the packing stuff. We got our 2 sticks right here, and then we got one other block, and it's called a soft block by Motor Guard, and the black side is a little more stiffer. Excuse me. You see there? You see? And when that happens and you drop it on the floor, rinse it off. We don't want sand or dirt or trash on our sandpaper. If you drop your block on the ground with sandpaper, take that sandpaper and either throw it in the trash or rinse it off very thoroughly, because if you get one minute piece of sand in or trash on your sandpaper, you are going to scratch your paint, and you're going to have dozens of scratches. You're going to go, where did those come from? So be very, very careful. So to wet sand this car, this is what we're going to use right here. This is it. So to start out with, I'm going to go ahead and get a piece of 1500, and then I am going to take the 1500 and I'm going to wrap it around the stick 3 times. 1, 2, and then 3. I'm going to go ahead and fold it over just like that, and then what I'll do is I'll tear that off. All right. So that's one piece of paper with the stick in it. And then the next one, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. And I should have made that exactly in half. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and make that stick in half. I'll be right back. Oh. Okay, I went ahead and cut my stick. So it's exactly half the paper width. And then what I'll do with this, because we're going to be using this a lot. We're going to use this a lot. It's going to be one of our main tools. I'm going to go ahead and cut that paper in half, and then I'm going to put that in the water right there. And then what I'll do is I will fold this over 3 times, just like that. Fold it back, and then cut it, and then I can use that again. Now, one more thing, I'm going to go ahead and let you know. Let me move that back there. This is the way you want to do it. We are using fresh water, no soap, and we're using a sponge. All right, we're not using spray bottles. We're not putting soap in the spray bottles. We're not doing none of that bullshit. We're using a bucket of water, crisp, clear, clean water, and a sponge. That's all. Bam. Do you understand? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to locate all of our little imperfectional dust specks. And I don't know if you can see them or not, but as we look at the paint, here's one right here. And here's another one right here. And then we will just travel all the way down the quarter panel or whatever panel we're working on, and we'll find all those. But for right now, we're just going to, remember I told you, we're going to concentrate on this area right here. Now, another thing that we're looking for is sags or runs in the clear. Okay, so I'm going to run my hand, and I don't feel any sags or runs, but it does feel very thick on the orange peel down here, so we're going to have to remember that. But as I'm looking up here, I don't see anything wrong, and everything is looking really nice. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take our small stick with our 1500, and we're just going to dip it in our water down. My water's down here, you can see that. All right, and I'm not using my sponge yet, but what I'm doing is I'm locating all of my imperfections, my little dust specks, you might call those. And what we're going to do is we're just going to sand those out. Just like that. See how easy that was? It's gone. Here's another one. Okay, that one's gone. Give that a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna take my hand, here's another one. All right. Okay, that was one. Here's one more right here. Looks like a lot of dust flew on this little section right here. And I see that one there just needs a little bit more. So you see, by using a paint stick instead of all these little nut blocks and all this money wasting items that you're buying, you're doing the same thing, but you're not spending $30 or $40 for some bullshit little tool to say, hey, I'm doing it that way. This here is not just saving you a lot of time, it's saving you a lot of money as well. Because we're going to be going over this whole thing, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Here's a couple right here. Here's one right there. And when I'm finding these, they're not real heavy duty. They're not like that much dust. It's just an imperfection that I can feel with my hand. And I think that's it. Okay, so now that we have taken our small stick, we have wrapped it with 1500. We have now used it as a nibbing block. We're going to go ahead and set that to the side. And the next block that we're going to get is our homemade block that we made out of our, what? Exactly, our packing material from our aftermarket parts. If you don't have any of this, or you can't find any of this, or you're possibly at home trying to figure out, wow, I need some of that, go to your local paint and body shop store, collision center, body shop, and talk to the manager, be nice to him, tell him what you're doing, and I guarantee you 100% they'll give you as much of this stuff as you want for free. All right? They throw it in the trash, and I'm sure they'll let you go out there and grab as much of this stuff as you want. So you can see right here, just by looking at this used piece of sandpaper, that I've already started block sanding this car. And do you see the perforated marks that the block leaves? You can see the grip action that this block makes when sanding with this block. And you can also see that we have used the whole piece of sandpaper, even though the block is skinny as this is. So what I'll do is I'll grab me a fresh, brand new piece of 1500, and I'm going to start wrapping this around just like this, very tightly. I'm going to keep wrapping just like that. Hold on, we want to start over here. I'm sorry. I'm going to start on the perforated side so the fold ends up on the other side, because my perforated side is the side that I really want to use the most. There we go. All right, so the whole block is wrapped. That means that I can use all sides of this. Now, when I get done using all the sides, I will take the paper off and I'll start wrapping from the other end and get all the paper that's not being used. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, remember, we're going to concentrate on this half area right here. Remember that? So, I'm going to go ahead and dip my block into the water. And then this time now, I'm going to go ahead and grab my sponge. I don't want too much water on it though, I just want a little bit. Too much water sometimes causes a lot of problems because it makes the paper slide across the paint and you're not really sanding anything. So you want to try to use as minimal water as possible. So we're going to go ahead and just squeeze a little water out, And you can see by using this block, all right, look at how quick this is sanding by using this semi-hard block. When you're sanding the paint, when you're sanding the clear coat on a vehicle, what you want to do, you want to listen. I'm not going to say nothing, I want you to hear what I hear. Did you hear that? Did you hear how rough it sounded? I'm going to bring it down here where there's more orange peel, and I want you to listen. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that or not, but it's a very, very rough sanding sound. And what that means is that you are literally taking off, you're shaving the top coat of that clear, and you're breaking through to get rid of all the orange peel. When you're color sanding, there's two things. You got your eyes that are watching and your ears that are listening. You want to listen to it until you don't hear the sandpaper making any more noise. Once you do that, you're pretty much done with 1500. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but if you're sanding, believe me, you're going to notice a big difference just in the sound. Okay? So we're still using our block, we're using our ears to listen, and we're using our eyes to watch. But what I want to do now that I've done this little section here, I want to take my squeegee and I want to squeegee that off. Now what we're looking for now is we're looking for orange peel, or if we need to nib it a little bit more. And I noticed right here, I need to take my little nibber and I need to get this just a little bit more. Okay, that one's gone. I'm using the light and I'm following the line. Here's one right here. Believe it or not, there was a lot of trash that flew on this quarter panel. I'm really shocked. And I think it's because of that door over there, the walk-in door. I need to flip that door around where it blows that way instead of this way. See how I'm doing that? I'm not using a lot of water. Okay, you don't need to use a lot of water when you're sanding. Actually, when you use a lot of water, I think I mentioned this earlier, it actually makes you sand more because you're not really sanding anything. Now, one more thing that we're going to look at. Do you see these sharp edges? I want to stay a finger length away from those. I don't want to take the block and sand right on that edge, because what's going to happen, I'm going to burn that edge off. And this block here is not going to sand that anyway, because this is a semi-hard block. But what I will do, I'll finish this up here using this block. So now I'm going to turn it over to the side to a fresh piece of the sandpaper, and we'll go ahead and get this. Remember what I said, minimal water, people. The more water you use, the less the sandpaper's working. So I'm going to do this one more time right here. And you see how nice that block fits in my hand? Perfect. Okay. Look what happened. I just dropped my squeegee. What are we going to do? We're going to dip it in that water. If we get a piece of sand on there and then we do this, guess what happens? We're going to get trash in that. We're going to get it, it's going to scratch our paint. All right, so what I've done is I got all the orange peel out of this and I nibbed it. Now, the bigger block right here, okay, because I don't think we're going to be using this, but I'm going to tell you, this is for if you have runs. If you have runs, if you come across a run, you use this longer block because it's a hard surface and you can sand that run out, all right, and it won't burn the paint around the edge because the hard surface of the stick is going to concentrate on the run only. We don't have any runs in here, but that's what this one here is for. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my flex block. I'm going to get me another piece of sandpaper. One more thing about color sanding that's very important, I want you to listen really close, is you have to continuously change your sandpaper. Using the same piece of sandpaper to sand this whole quarter panel is ridiculously stupid. Okay, and if anybody tells you to do that, they're stupid. All right? The fresher the sandpaper, the better and higher quality job that you're going to get. So now, remember this edge right here, okay, this is where the flex block comes in. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to put it right on the edge of this paper. Let me turn that around. Hold on a minute, we want it like this. Okay. Let me get that back on that block nice and tight. There we go. Okay, so we want to get our paper just like that, and we want to try to use our finger as a guide because we don't want that sandpaper right up next to that edge. So I'm going to use my finger, and it's going to tell me when to stop. And I'm also watching this edge here. I don't want to sand all the way up to that edge. And like I said, you can hear when you have pretty much gotten rid of all of the orange peel. So we're going to take this block and we're going to come right here because there's a curve right here, and then we'll bring that down here because we got a sharp edge here, and we're going to keep on going. And then as you can see, this block here will fit right down in here. And then, once we've done all that, we should have eliminated all of the orange peel. And once again, I'm using the light. I'm following the light. And then I see a couple little spots right here. And like I said, the reason this has trash on this side is probably from the door when I opened and closed it from walking in and out. But this is your most important deal right here. I see some orange peel in this area, so I'm going to take this block right here. And I'm not going to use my sponge or a lot of water. I'm just going to use the water that's on the paper. To get this area really good. And I'm also using my finger. Remember, don't want to bring that paper all the way up. Remember I told you about folding the paper over? So I got paper on the edges of my stick, and I see right here, do you see how I'm using the edge of that stick? I'm using it as a sander. And look at that, I got rid of it. Okay. The tools of the trade are the tools that you can make right here, people. That's the main tools. This tool right here you can purchase along with this, of course. But to do a proper job is to use your brain to your benefit and figure it out. Or watch these videos on D.I.Y. Auto School and let my friend Pete show you the easy, simple way of doing it right, doing it right, doing it right. Because if you're not doing it right, You're not doing it at all.
Now's the time that you want to hit the subscribe button, click on that bell for notifications, and comment below. Because if you don't, this big blob of Mondo's going to be inside your bed covers tonight when you crawl in there, and it's going to get in places that we really don't want to talk about right now. Do, my friend, pay the favor and subscribe. Now, do it, or that Mondo's going to do you.
I've already got videos on this, earlier videos that I made, but that's why I'm not going to this stage. It's because I already have videos on this. But to finish this out before we buff it, what we'll do is we will take this right there. All right, this is 3,000. And then this is a short throw palm DA, and we will go over this whole car. And then once that's done, then it's time to buff. But the initial wet sand job for color sanding your paint starts with this right here. And it also starts with this. You know what that is? You know what this is? If you know what that is, leave a comment in the bottom of this video and let me know what you think that is, okay? Because that's it right there. That's the answer to all your problems. This right here.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.